Well, I'm going to go straight into First Thessalonians chapter 5 in verse 23, which is a really familiar verse, where it says, "May God sanctify you completely so that your whole spirit, soul, and body are preserved complete and blameless." So right there, Paul is actually saying that I want you guys to be more holistic, because we have to understand that you are not living a one-dimensional life. You are running a multifaceted, multi-dimensional life, spirit, soul, and body. So it's not never just one aspect. There are many aspects, right? So spirit, soul, and body. And where 3 John chapter 1 in verse 2, where John actually says that, "I pray that you may prosper in all things and be in health, just as your soul prospers." The word prosper has been done really badly by the Americans back in the 80s. It's all about having money. But in ancient Jewish understanding, the word prosper simply means being holistic, flourishing, doing well. It refers to something internal. So basically, the New Testament was saying that, hey, look, I wish you guys to be doing well holistically, same as your spirit, which is your spiritual life, your church life, right? Your relationship with God spiritually. I hope you'll prosper, be holistic, be healthy, but also in your soul. What does that mean in your soul? In a counseling term, soul is simply psyche. Obviously, you heard of the word psychology. And what does that mean, the word psychology? It just simply means the study of the soul. Theology, what does that mean, theology? The study of God, basically a study of. So psyche simply means the study of the soul. So why do we need to study? Because I think a lot of us, we understand how things work and, get things done, but we actually don't understand how things work on the inside. Like early this morning, I remember there's a Chinese word in Cantonese, it's called samfan, trouble in the heart. If I pronounce that wrong. So I think some of the Cantonese aunties, they used to say, "哎呀, 好煩啊." Right, is that right? Yeah, the trouble in the heart. Thank you for your translation. What does that mean? That means like it's not something to do with what's external. It's something on the inside that you can't resolve. Something internally that is chaotic. There's no peace in the mind and in the heart. And you know what? I have to say that for us Asians, we would just tank it. Just bury it, suppress it, and soldier on, get that thing done. Okay, well, I have to say that there is merit to it, because say, before you lead worship, you're not going to say, I have to see a counselor. That's like, when do you start? 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock the worship service starts, or maybe you are the preacher. Okay, you're just about to preach and you can't just say, "Oh no, I need to talk to someone." Well, you can only for so much, because the expectations, there are things to be done. Okay, fair enough. Given in that context, you soldier on, you tank it. But imagine if you don't deal with it after that, and imagine if you keep doing that after a week for months and years, you know what? You will blow up. It's not going to work. I'm sure that Apostle Paul and Apostle John, they actually knew that really well. That's why he said, "I wish you're so healthy, guys, to be healthy internally." Amen? So I think that's pretty much like the essence of this weekend. And our heart is that we want you to be more holistically healthy. We also have to realize that sometimes we can be really gifted. Some of you guys work really well. Working is not a problem. Making money is not a problem. Studying is not a problem. Serving other people is not a problem. You could be really gifted in many different areas. And in fact, I think with us Asians, we are a lot more logistical. And that's actually a gift of leadership. Okay, so we have about 26 gifts, spiritual gifts in the New Testament. Administration is a form of leadership. Because if you can't organize, say like 50 people or 500 people, and how are you gonna share the gospel? How are you gonna organize these people so that they can be well served? Makes sense? So all of us I just really felt like you guys are smart people, highly intelligent, and are highly capable. I wouldn't assume that we don't struggle emotionally or relationally, or even personally or interpersonally. While you might be really good in one area, but maybe there are other areas that you need help or you need to grow. And like I said before, probably even 2 years ago, we are good at doing, but maybe we are not really good at growing. And I remember one time after serving as a pastor, one of my old pastor friends, and he came over and he said to me, "Stan, you know what? After 10 years, you're the same." Now, that is not a compliment. You're exactly like 10 years ago. Okay? Where's the depth? Where's the growth? Where's the change? You're just like the same. So I thought, oh no, I need to change. I don't want to be a human doing. I want to be a human being. That means like being there, I want to grow. There's depth and there's growth for me. So the question is, what about you? Right? So I would say the thing is that it's not like we don't want to grow, but I think sometimes we don't pay attention to what we are not good at. We never pay attention to why is this going on? What's going on there? And we don't allow ourselves to stop and to really think about it. The other day I was talking to someone and someone said, I don't know why I feel like I'm so judgy when I see someone and like I just want to judge them. And I know it's not right, but it's just in my mind, you know. And I say, have you ever asked yourself, why do you do that? And then that person said, if you picked up the fact that you were judgy, so why don't you ask yourself, why were you judgy? Was it because you think you were better than someone? Or do you think that what that person does was a bit not great? Or are there something else? And he said, I never thought about that. And I said, self-awareness, guys. I really have no problem for you to be judgy. That's a shocking statement. But I have a problem that you don't know why you were judgy. I just need to be faithful, right? I want to be faithful. Yeah, we all want to be faithful. We want to be rewarded by the Lord. But then is there an area where I would say, no, okay, I know I need to be faithful, but also I need to consider the fact that I need Sabbath. I need sabbatical, you know, so you can't just do one thing and then you ignore the other. There's always a place of balance that you need to find for yourself. What about sometimes some people upset you and you just think, oh, as a Christian brother, as a Christian sister, I just need to forgive so that I can find my inner peace. But you can't forgive them. Why can't you forgive them? I don't know, maybe I'm just not Jesus enough. I need to find that inner peace. Maybe you don't have a place where you feel safe to talk about what was really wrong, right? And you feel like, well, I can't talk about my dad. I can talk about the pastor. And I can't talk about Stan because they're older, they're more experienced, they are in authority over me, or my teacher, or the government, or the police, right? But what if they've done something wrong then? Now, I'm not saying that you're judging them, so this is the roadblock where usually Helen and I would actually help people to understand is that when you are talking about the situation with a person, that person is attached, but you are not judging that person. So why? But I mentioned his name. Okay, well, you mentioned his name because there's something internally you cannot resolve. And the situation just happens that that name is attached. But when you mention that name, you're not judging that person. And by the way, as coaches and counselors, we are helping you. We don't worry. We don't know that person. And the issue is not in that person. That person is enjoying himself, sipping a cold drink in the beach in Waikiki, enjoying his own life. And you're getting upset with that person, right? The issue is not that person. The issue is you internally. Does that make sense? So we want to help you to resolve and to undo some of the difficult feelings, right? So really, sometimes we might think, oh, we just need to pray more. We need to pray more and pray more. Well, praying is good. Don't get me wrong. I mean, when I first got saved, as a 17-year-old, I used to pray for 5 to 6 hours, praying in tongues every night after dinner. I would pray from 8 o'clock all the way to 2 o'clock. And when I woke up, it was like 2 o'clock. And I encountered God and I have some of the most amazing spiritual experiences. But only prayer is not going to do me. I need to process. I need to talk it out. I need to journal. I need to talk to someone. I can't do this all by myself between me and God. And that's why I need a community. We need a community, right? So yes, we have to understand that things that you find it difficult, don't bury it, pay attention to it, process it. Maybe you don't have a safe space, or maybe people don't have skills to really unlock, the internal struggles in your heart. But however, it doesn't mean you can't pay attention and do something about it. And I want to assure you that you are not powerless to do something about it. The key thing is have a peace of mind, because without that, you will react really easily. You snap at people really easily. You get upset. You'll get even. So please pay attention to what is going on internally in your mind, in your heart. That's mental health. And for me, my mind has to be clean. My mind has to be clear. I can't afford to hold grudges or negative thoughts or be judgy, or when someone has done something wrong against me, Do I feel upset? Do I feel angry? Yes. Do I get upset? Yes. Do I feel frustrated when things are not moving? Yes. But now I've learned to find tools to deal with it because I want my mind to be sound. I want my mind to be clear. I want to have a peace of mind. All right, so I've got a few other points that I want to talk to you guys about, and then we're going to open up for questions, feedback, and Helen's got something to share.
Just one. Just practical.
Yeah.
A one-to-one.
So you don't have to write it down. I can record it. By the way, we've done 120 podcast episodes from our podcast now. So it's been 2 to 3 years. So we've got all sorts of different topics. So it's on our socials and you can actually check it out. Find a topic that you enjoy and, while you're cooking, have a listen to it.